Question 1.
How many questions are there?
A lot.
Okay.
Before any bans had been placed, how were you feeling about the team and the progress you have made?
I'm
Shut
no,
up.
no,
Look, I'm doing some awesome work.
point at a time. Who's shooting at me?
I'm doing A.
Where are you guys?
Competitive esports in Australia is still relatively young. With a smaller playing group than our North American and European counterparts, players in our region often rely on more than talent when it comes to making a name for themselves. While most players in the top echelon overseas have comfortable salaries, brand exposure, and wider opportunities, most of the top competitive CSGO players in Australia still work part-time jobs or study. Pairing this with countless hours of practice and official matches, here, in the opinion of many, is where true passion for esports lies. When you factor in everything mentioned previously, and you take this away from 35 players in our region with no explanation as to why, the passion and determination brewing in a tiny community all but disappear. The countless hours in front of the game you love, trying to push yourself to the next level, wasted in the blink of an eye.
3 months ago. Feeling good. I think we were just starting to be competitive with like top 4 teams, top 3. Made Beijing, that was a good confidence booster. But no, it was good. Going along like good progression. Like the team was starting to like get some form, get some structure. We've been a team for a little while. So it was going well. I was getting like more and more confidence with everyone. But yeah, only good signs. I felt like we were progressing in a way that was good for the team and we were actually going to get better. We didn't stagnate like a lot of other teams do. And before the ban, how was that feeling individually?
Just like mentally.
Yeah, I was feeling good. Yeah, it was good. It's always good like if you're getting paid or like if you're doing something you enjoy. I was feeling good. I was in uni, working, playing CS, so no complaints. I was pretty happy with how things were. Yeah, mentally, I was very good 3 months ago. It's good.
So yeah, when we saw the news of James, I'm pretty sure I knew he was out at a party. So I had to be the one to break the news.
I was just like shocked. I was drinking tequila, I still remember. I was at my mate's house for a house party. And I was drinking tequila and Toby Facebook called me and I was like, oh, someone died? Like,
So I was pretty shocked, to be honest. Like, the people on the list, like I knew some of them have gambled in the past. Whereas James, it was more, he never talked about it or anything like that. So I was pretty shocked. I had to give him a phone call. And I was like, look, it's probably not going to be a big deal. But you've been ESIC banned for 12 months. I'm sure we can get it shorted pretty quickly.
just shocked, really. I saw that and I was like, okay, that's someone taking the piss. But then it was like a list of like 35 other people as well, so I was like, okay. Yeah, just surprised.
On the 22nd of January 2021, the Esports Integrity Commission released an official statement regarding Australian CS. Alongside James, 34 other players had been banned due to betting-related rule breaches, with concerns of match fixing by some of the banned individuals. With this sudden announcement, many teams were left without a full roster. Many had to completely disband due to the bans. Although ESIC completed their investigation, their ban now, provide evidence later approach is when the true issues began to emerge.
How do you think it affected the team once they heard the news?
I think it probably similar to me, just more surprised, more shocked about how it happened or like what happened. I felt more bad for them because it was just like it affects 4 other people, not just myself. If it was like an individual game, I wouldn't really, not care, but like I wouldn't really, it wouldn't have affected me as much.
It definitely, I think it's stunted us as players a lot. So basically everyone's motivation hit like really low at some point, so we just couldn't scrim. and we'd basically just be going into matches with no prep and no scrims.
But the fact that I was like messing up for other people, that really pissed me off and like made me upset about it. I think it would have been pretty difficult to deal with because you know, we're all mates, we've all been on the team for ages, so yeah, big surprise for everyone. I think just negative all round, no positives out of that one.
How do you think James dealt with the ban itself? Mentally and emotionally?
You want me to answer that one?
I don't know, I felt like the first week, I sort of just accepted it. Like, I knew that what I did wasn't wrong. Not wrong, but it was just like lack of education.
I think James went through a couple of stages of acceptance, to be honest.
It's just more like how it happened or like how it progressed is what like really annoyed me with it all. That's when I started to get like really annoyed with it.
I think when he got banned, it was kind of in like a state of like disbelief, and he just went like in his mental as a defense mechanism. He was like, I don't fucking care. Like, who fuck cares, right? I think it's very easy to fall into that trap. I think it's a very like common defense mechanism. After about like 2 or 3 weeks of that, I mean, it like hit him pretty hard emotionally, which it would, right? Because we play upwards of 30 hours a week just with a team, and that's not including like outside of our prac, like streaming, for example. James was a massive thing, and doing other content things. So I think it affected him pretty bad. I think it definitely hit him on a delay, but I definitely think it affected a lot more than people would think. Just because if it's something you're so passionate about, and you feel like you've been banned out of something completely out of your control, it would definitely fuck with anyone's mental, I think.
You never want to go out on something when it's not your terms, because like you always want to make like the final call. So I was more just like like surprised. There was no like acceptance really, like after a week. Like I said, it was like the process of it all is what affected me, not really like the initial hit.
Although the bans were announced and set in stone, ESIC were very vague on how the players could appeal their bans. To request an appeal, the players had to pay an upfront payment of $500 just to receive more information on their bans. On top of this, an already understaffed governing body became extremely difficult to communicate with, leaving many players without answers.
There were times we thought it was best to go separate ways, but it was because James said he'd never play again. So I don't know if we decided that as much as he decided that for us.
Looking away from Counter-Strike, how has the ban affected your life outside of the game?
Well, I don't know, it was something I always enjoyed doing, playing CS. Played a lot of hours. Towards the end, it wasn't really like dominating my life because I was at uni and work, but it was more just like something I look forward to and fun doing because I'm playing with my mates and everything.
I think most of the time we wanted to keep on fighting through the struggles, even though the process was time consuming. We always just wanted to wait it out. But at the points where he said he wouldn't want to play again, we had to look for a new player, not even just a player, just like someone who would fit in to our team, more than like just CS in-game stuff. So yeah. There was a lot of rumours in the community, especially they kind of started in certain Discords where certain community members were actually talking to the ESIC officials, and what we heard as a team was all the 12-month bans players were going to get unbanned within like 2 weeks. So from that point, as soon as we heard that, we just started practicing with James again, and obviously until that 2-week point, our team mood was back to what it used to be, right? Brought James back in, our kind of culture felt a lot more normal.
That's the reason I came back, right? The first reason I left was because I thought it was no hope. I was stuff this, I'm not just going to wait around. I only came back because I was told by people that I was going to get unbanned and that things were happening and it was going to happen. That's the only reason I came back. I wasn't about to just sit there for 11 months and just play CS when no, that's just not something. I know a lot of people who do that because they genuinely still love the game, but after that happened, I was like, stuff this. Like, I don't want to do this if I'm banned. Like, there's no point, right? To me, at least.
When we kept on pushing back for 2 weeks, into a month, into 2 months, into almost like 2.5, we just couldn't keep on practicing, and it kind of like fucked up everyone's motivation because we had to chop him in as a player change. So it was just kind of annoying having to like start maps over and then fully refresh and then even find people to play with. Like, it's really hard to find someone you want to be in TeamSpeak with like 25 hours a week, right? That's a fucking long time. So if someone pisses you off a little bit, you can't play with them in a team. So it's pretty hard at Surge. So I definitely think it demotivated everyone a lot.
Officials are literally why I enjoy CS. Like, obviously practice is necessary and it's needed if you actually want to get better. Genuinely want your team to succeed. You will take practice seriously. You'll take offline and theory seriously. But only being able to do that is legit like my nightmare. Officials are the reason I enjoy CS and like were the reason I was playing. Like, they're just so fun, having like high energy. I just love it. It was so good. Just like everything about them. Not being able to play them just like killed me with the game. It literally made me not enjoy the game. I didn't want to play it. During that phase, I hated the CS. It was just the worst of the worst, pretty much. Having to do offline theory, scrimming, and not being able to actually put it into practice and not being able to play. And then watching your team and knowing that they could be doing better if they're playing like 2 subs or something, or a sub, knowing that they could be doing better and you're still just like, you feel like you're still screwing them over, right? Because you're not able to actually perform and play with them. So yeah, it was just, that was horrible. I hated that like iteration. Yeah.
After months of attempts to contact ESIC for answers, many of the community had reached its breaking point. From the initial ban wave to rumours of unbans, back to little to no communication on the next step of the process, players started to take things into their own hands. It took one tweet to ignite the community and bring it together. Word soon went international, reaching big names in the global CS scene, who decided to back players and demand answers. How can we ban 35 players and not give many of them evidence as to why they were banned in the first place? Shortly after the community uprising, things started to move on E6's end.
Do you think the whole situation with the ESIC could have been handled better by ESIC themselves?
So like, no hate to ESIC or anything, but like the way a lot of it went down, I know they're volunteers, I've heard that recently, they're volunteers who are doing this, so like the whole organisation, what they stand for is good, like I support that. It's just the process of how things, process and like execution is what's really important in things like this.
Yeah, I think it could have been handled better. I think they're trying to do a good thing, obviously. Matchmaking is like saying you want to get rid of, if we want to grow like properly, like a normal sport. I think the issue they had was, I don't think they thought people would appeal their ESIC bans by the look of it, just because of the workload they had to complete. I felt like it took them way too long. There was no way they were prepared for like 40 unbanned requests in my head. I think part of it was they wanted to set a successful precedent in Australia before they could go on to tackle on like some bigger markets, like the North American market, like the Asian CS scene. They would have had a lot more workload with. So they tried to start small, and I just don't think they understood what they were trying to pull off, like how much work it would actually take.
Definitely the messaging should have been done prior, like a lot more. Like, I feel like it should have been a lot more notice. But yeah, definitely could be improved. I think what's important is like they take out the negatives of what happened or how they handled it and actually improve it for next time, because there will be a next time with these things, but like as long as they learn from how they did these things, then that's what's important, because like nothing's perfect when you first do it, but yeah, the way it was handled was very, very poorly.
I don't think any of the rulings they made were overly unfair. I think the problem was how long it took people to get responses to their appeals. Like having certain players pay like $500, which would be a appeal fee, and then get ghosted doesn't really sit right with anyone, I assume. Like waiting for over a month for a message is pretty fucking insane. I think that was the biggest issue with the ESIC thing, was just response time and like the community engagement with it.
Is there a difference between James now that is unbanned compared to when he was banned?
Unbanned now, I think he's a lot happier. Obviously since being unbanned. I think being banned made him a little bit more cynical, and like content wise, like he just doesn't give a fuck anymore. He'll say whatever he wants, which is kind of fun, exciting. I think the biggest thing is he kind of appreciates the opportunity we have to play CS as like a part-time job, kind of alongside uni and work for James, like, and most of us. I really think he enjoys it a lot more than he was before he was banned, because he was really burnt out. And I think ESIC actually gave him a break that he probably needed to like reset mentally.
I was very fortunate. I made a tweet and that's how it happened. Pretty ridiculous, but yeah, I'm very grateful that people reached out and actually helped me out. Shout out to that one guy at ESIC who's actually a nice person, Stephen, good guy, absolute legend. He reached out when he didn't need you and helped me out, and I'm super appreciative of that. But yeah, I'm very happy after, and I still am. I'm just happy I have the opportunity to make my own choices now rather than having them taken away, and I'm just glad I get to play like my mates again, pretty much. It's not just, I do have a choice, and yeah, get to return with the boys.
Do you have any other thoughts on anything? Last final words.
Any other thoughts on anything? Shout out to Vertex, hashtag real ones. Jamie, the owner of Vertex, is a legend. My teammates, PZ, APOC Dud, Addict, Grace, all very supportive throughout the whole thing, and like always just were there for me, like even if I deserved it or not. So very appreciative of that, and just like the people in general. Damn, hashtag best admin in Australia. Unban him, you pigs. He is absolute legend. He's definitely not making me say this. Yeah, just in general, don't bet. Live, laugh, love, you know. That's it's good words. What other thoughts? It's pretty mild weather today. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Bet on E-Dogs, not esports.